What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Today we are talking about server power supplies, and in particular we're talking about HP server power supplies. I have a lot of these. I've used these for years. They're very reliable and also very efficient, and the number one thing is they're affordable. So I get all mine from Parallel Miner. They're an awesome hookup. They're inside the U.S. and fast shipping, all the goods. But let me explain to you why server power supplies are a good idea. So this is a 750 watt. This is a 1200 watt. You notice they're long and skinny, funny looking. On the back they have a contacts, and that's where a breakout board goes. So that literally just slides onto there, like. Oh, I just cut the camera off. Hold on. There it goes. Okay, so I struggle with that, trying to do it one-handed, but I got it on there. These are really good for giving you a lot of 6-pin or 6+2-pin PCIe cables, because look how many you can plug in there. Boom, boom, boom. You can definitely overload these because you can plug in way more than what a 750 watt would supply. So you definitely still have to make sure you're not pulling too much power out of these, but they are rated higher than most ATX power supplies. You can pull these or push these all the way up into the 90% range. Still don't suggest it. Keep it 80% and below. And a lot of people are confused out how these work. So, for example, right here, I have a Dell OEM, cheapo desktop. This power supply is like a 200 watt. It would not power these two GPUs. So I have a server power supply up top. I have a breakout board hooked up to it, and then I have PCIe cables hooked up to it, powering the risers and also those cards. So the way I do it is when that's off and that's off, I'll go ahead and power up the server power supply first. Then I'll power up the system, so that gives the cards power, and then the system is hooked up through the USB slots for your risers, and it sees that, oh, there's cards there and they got power, and there's no extra strain on the OEM or the ATX power supply. And a lot of people are like, oh, well, just buy a big ATX power supply. But if you have looked up what the prices of power supplies right now, you could spend upwards of $200+ to get a decent 1000 watt or 1200 watt power supply, whereas you can get a couple 750s or a 1200. And I mean, realistically, the last time I was looking, I think these 1200s, like a kit which comes with power supply, breakout board, and the cables, is like 50 or 60 bucks, and that's shipped. So very cost effective way of doing it. To turn them on and off, these particular ones have a button right here. This is a readout for voltage. You can actually see up here, see 12.4 volts. I've never actually had a server power supply go bad, but I have had breakout boards go bad. This is actually the breakout board that went bad. It was reading 10 volts, wouldn't power up any cards. 10 volts, that's potentially dangerous to cards also, so it's a good thing to have readouts. On some of the cheaper kits that come with the HP server power supply, but they'll come with a really cheap breakout board with no voltage readout, and it'll have less plugs, so you can just watch out for that. Now also, there are some, like, see, this one's got a plug right there. This isn't the one that has the auto on, but they make some that have like a Molex in, and you plug a Molex in off of your regular power supply. Like, see, here's a SATA plug, but you would plug the Molex in to boom there, so whenever you powered on that, it would automatically power on this. But I've had no issues with daisy chaining these together and just powering one on the old-fashioned way and then powering your system on last. So if you power your system on first and then give the cards power a little too late, it just won't see the cards in time before it posts. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, cheap, cost-effective way to have power in your rigs. And do also note that the 1200 watts are only good for 1200 watts at 220 or 240 volts. At 110 or 120, they're only good for 900 watts. But still, a 900 watt platinum or gold rated power supply with 6 plus, I mean, how many are on here? 12? Yeah, a 900 watt with 12 PCI Express ports, or PCI Express plugs. you ain't beating that. That's a solid deal. Here, I'll actually show you some other systems that I use these in. All right, so I'm using, this is a 750 watt server power supply. It's got the breakout board back there. The cables are powering this motherboard and these cards. Boom, simple, easy. Over here I have an ATX power supply powering the motherboard and I think one card, or the top of these two cards, and then I have this server power supply powering everything else. All the yellow and black cables, and then also these white and black cables are coming off that server power supply, because I have 6 470s here, and this is a EVGA like 450 watt power supply, so that thing would have no chance in powering all 6 of those, because this total rig pulls about 650 to 700 watts, so it definitely needed help from that server power supply. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, just trying to help you guys save a little bit of money. I do have an affiliate link down below if you want to use that for Parallel Miner. That's been my best place for ordering these things. Yeah, and if you have any questions, comment down below. Later. All right, I figured I'm back up on my computer now. I would show you guys the Parallel Miner website and what you need to be looking for, because, you know, just being like, hey, go to this website, it doesn't always equate. So this is the 1200 watt kit. It comes with, you actually can choose an option. So you can get it with zero cables. The one I like to do is, I think it's this one. It comes with 8 6+2 pin cables. So you could run, what, 4 risers and then 4 cards. And then if you did like 10, that's 5 and 5. And then 12 is 6 risers, 6 cards. And then that also it comes with an X11 breakout board, which is, you know, boom, breakout board, server power supply, and then there's the cables. So the side that has the +2 on it, that's the side that either goes into the riser or the card, and then the other side is what goes into the actual breakout board. So yeah, hopefully that explains everything. And yeah, if you need any help, just jump over. Discord and Facebook links are down below, so you can join in there. And yeah, lots of people use these things. They are a little loud compared to a regular server power supply, and it's not that they're super loud. They just kind of give off like a higher pitched tone because they have these small fans right here. They're like, nee, but they only get loud when you heavily load them up. So if you buy a 1200 watt and you're only pushing 400, 500, 600 watts through it, it's going to be really quiet. But now if you buy a 750 watt and you push, you know, 600, 700 watts through it, that thing's going to be like, mee, making a bunch of noise. But anyway, guys, have a good one. I'm going to peace out for tonight. Adios.